Hi, I'm Jessie, an herbalist, sewist, and the owner of Caring For. Any noise you hear in the background of these videos is everyday noise in a household with 3 children tackling life at full force. I've been making and using cloth menstrual pads for years now, and today I want to walk you through everything you need to know if you're curious about switching to reusable menstrual pads. A lot of women are interested in them, but they're also a little nervous because it's something different than what we've been taught to use our whole lives. So in this video, I'm going to show you what cloth menstrual pads actually are, what they look like, how they work, how to choose your size, how many you need, how to wash them, and basically answer all the common questions people have before they make the switch. So the first question most people ask is, why would anyone switch to cloth pads in the first place? There are actually a few big reasons. The first usually being chemicals in disposable pads. Most disposable pads are made with bleached materials, are 90% plastic, use sticky adhesives, and synthetic endocrine disrupting fragrances. And they're sitting against one of the most absorbent and sensitive areas of the body for hours at a time. A lot of women notice that when they switch to cloth, they experience less irritation, itching, and fewer rashes. Breathability is another big reason. Cloth pads are much more breathable than disposables. Disposable pads' leak resistance comes from a plastic backing that traps heat and moisture, making them the perfect breeding ground for bacteria. Cloth pads are made from natural fibers, so they allow airflow and feel a lot more comfortable. Many women say it feels more like wearing normal underwear rather than a bulky disposable pad. Cost savings. Another big benefit is long-term cost savings. A single stash of cloth pads can last up to 10 years or beyond. So instead of buying disposable pads every single month, you buy them once and reuse them over and over and over again. Environmental impact. Disposable pads are a single-use plastic product that ends up in landfills, and the science shows us that they take 500 to 800 years to break down into microplastics, so they never actually truly disappear. Cloth pads can be reused hundreds of times, which dramatically reduces waste, and at the end of their lifetime, if you have chosen cloth menstrual pads made from natural fibers, they can be cut into pieces and composted. Reduce, reuse, recycle, anyone? Body awareness. Another thing women often notice is better body awareness. Because you are actually handling and washing the pads, you become much more aware of your flow, your cycle patterns, how your body changes each month, and that awareness can actually be really empowering. Now let's actually look at what cloth menstrual pads look like. Cloth pads are shaped similarly to disposable pads, but they have little wings with snaps that wrap around your underwear instead of the sticky adhesive that sometimes sticks to all the wrong places or loses its stickiness due to motion or sweat. Now let's talk about sizes. Cloth pads come in different sizes depending on your flow level, not your body shape. For example, our 8-inch light is great for light days or spotting or even just daily discharge. Our 10-inch moderate is for a moderate or regular flow. Our 12-inch and 14-inch heavy pads are for your everyday normal heavy flow. And then our larger pads, 16-inch heavy plus postpartum, is great for overnight. It's great for day 2 and 3 when you're super heavy. It's great for full coverage. Now also in my shop, my pads come in 2 width options. So this is an original. It's about 3-inch snapped width. This is also a 16-inch Heavy Plus postpartum pad in our wide option with an approximately 4-inch snapped width. The wider version is great for people who want extra coverage or overnight protection. I use these all the time. There's also a second snap option. So if you need a thinner than 3-inch snapped width, I can add a second snap here to make your gusset width even thinner. Flow levels. Different sizes correspond with different flow levels, so many people build a small stash with a mix of sizes. For example, lighter pads for the beginning or end of your cycle, and then the heavier pads for your middle days. Some of us who require a lot more. Postpartum use. So currently I have the 16-inch available in my shop, but I can go up to 18, 20, 22, as big as you need for the postpartum. Postpartum is super popular because they are breathable and soft, and you just don't have that gross crinkly thing to deal with while you're dealing with everything else postpartum. These pads are also great for bladder leaks. They can be used for light to moderate bladder leaks, like sneezing, laughing, jumping. My washing machine is going crazy. We do not recommend them for partial or full bladder empty, as they have not been tested for that. Using a cloth pad is actually really simple. You place the pad inside your underwear just like a disposable pad. Here I have my size medium 100% cotton underwear. You just wrap the wings around and snap instead of using the adhesive. I'm going to show you with our smallest and largest options and with a disposable. So bear with me because I've already destroyed the adhesive on this disposable. So you have your underwear and they're on your legs. So you can see the inside gusset, and you just stick your pad in, and then you would wrap the sticky wings around. And if I hadn't removed the adhesive on this, it would actually stick. Maybe, who knows for how long. And then you have your pad ready to go. Now, when these are removed, make sure to not throw them in the toilet. Make sure to wrap them and then put them in a trash can. So, here's our 8-inch light. We have our same underwear. You would just unsnap the wings, put it around the gusset, and re-snap the wings. And you're ready to go. That's it, simple. You can actually move the pad around. If you need more front coverage, you can slide it forward. If you need more back coverage, you can slide it backwards. And you don't have to worry about ruining the adhesive or this pad coming off at all. And then here is our largest. This is our 16-inch Heavy Plus postpartum. So you would just do the same exact thing. Get that out of the way. You have your underwear on. You would put it down and put the wings around the gusset. Snap. Push it in. Fits all the way in. Nothing's popping out the top, in the front or the back. And you can also see with our wide option, it's giving you all the coverage here in the front, so no leaks at the front of your thighs. It's giving you full coverage here at the back. I love this size, this shape. for my heaviest days and overnight especially. And like I said, this is a pair of my size medium 100% cotton underwear. And if you do need, when you have your underwear stretched on your body, obviously this is going to come up a little farther in the front and back. And you can also slide this one if you need more front coverage. You can slide it up the gusset. If you need more back coverage, you can slide it down the gusset. So yeah. And the snaps. The snap keeps it from shifting around, as well as the fuzzy fleece on the back. I will show you that really quickly. The fleece keeps your pad from sliding around in your cotton underwear. It's pretty awesome. Another common question is, how many cloth pads do I actually need? And that depends on a few very personal things. Your flow, obviously. How often you want to wash your laundry is another good one. And how many times per day you want to or need to change your pad. Now, a simple starter stash might look like 2 to 3 pads for light days, 3 to 5 for moderate days. Heavy days might look like 3 to 5 heavy pads. Some people start small and then add more pads over time as they figure out what works for them and their flow. I personally have 40 plus pads in my stash, and I could get away with way less. I could wash more often. I could change fewer times throughout the day, but that's not what I personally prefer. I have a very, very heavy flow days 1, 2, and 3 of my cycle. So I also don't like to feel wet. And another part of it, my personal mental thing, is if I feel a gush, my brain goes, oh, your pad's overflowing, change it now. Even though it's not. Like, you can feel a gush and it could feel huge and it's like a few drops. Or you can feel a gush and then it's like everywhere and you need to change. So, if you're like me and you change your pad every single time you use the bathroom throughout the day, you're going to need a much bigger stash. I change regardless of the pad being full or not. So I go through my stash of 40 plus pads. But some people stick with 10 pads and like wear one pad as long as it possibly can until it is completely saturated. Some people use several pads a day and then just wash every night, or wash, in the middle of their cycle. So how many pads is completely a personal choice, and always start small and figure out the size, the length, the shape, the absorbency. Figure all that out, trial and error before you jump into buying a huge stash. The biggest concern most people have about cloth pads is how to keep them clean. And honestly, it's much simpler than most people expect. When you remove your used cloth pad, simply store it in an open air container or wet bag until wash day. Making sure it's in an open air container ensures that everything dries and the pads don't hold onto moisture or start growing bacteria. Step 1 on wash day is your pre-rinse. Dump all of your pads into your washing machine, making sure that the snaps are undone and nothing is stuck in pad wrappers or inside your underwear. Run your machine on the shortest full-length wash cycle available on cold. You always want to do your initial rinse in cold water to prevent setting in stains. You can also add a tiny bit of detergent at this point, or stain treatment like OxiClean, but neither of those are necessary. The cycle is simply to rehydrate the blood and rinse it out of the pads. Blood is 100% water soluble. Step 2, once your primary pre-rinse wash cycle on cold is completed, you can pull out a few of your pads and see if you want to stain treat. If you want to stain treat, that's great. Do that now by spraying them with OxyClean or hydrogen peroxide, which is my personal favorite. Just remember that stains don't mean that your pad is dirty. And then you toss everything back in your washer with a regular load of laundry and wash on your normal cycle at your normal temperature. Whether that be warm, cold, hot, it doesn't matter at this point. Step 3, machine dry versus air dry. My pads are built to be machine washed and tumble dried. Just leave the snaps open and create less wear and tear on your pads, and they should last you many, many years. A lot of people do prefer to air dry their cloth pads to make them last longer, but in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really make too big of a difference. Cloth menstrual pads can be a great option for so many people. They're especially great for teens just starting their cycles because they're soft, comfortable, and easy to use. Postpartum moms, they're so great for postpartum recovery because they're breathable, they're gentle on healing tissue, they're soft, and you really don't even notice that they're in your underwear. For sensitive skin, women who experience irritation from disposable products often find that cloth pads are much more comfortable. And then if you're trying to lower your toxin lifestyle, they're a great option for women who are trying to reduce chemical exposure in their everyday products. Caring For's cloth menstrual pads are available with 2 topper options. Our 100% organic linen cotton blend, and then our organic bamboo velour option. Toxin free all the way over here. So if you've been curious about cloth menstrual pads, I hope this video helped answer some of your questions. Switching to reusable menstrual products can feel a little intimidating at first, but many women find that once they try them, they never want to go back to disposables. If you have any questions about cloth pads, feel free to leave them in the comments. And if you'd like to see the cloth pads I make, you can check them out on my website. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're interested in learning more about natural health, herbal remedies, reusable home products, and building a natural home apothecary. Thanks for watching.